Howdy, my dudes. Random Fight Fan here. It's officially less than 2 days till the patch goes live, which means less than 2 days till I start giving away a bunch of PoE 2 early access keys. It also means that the patch notes should be coming tonight, and oh, I'm excited for that. Can't wait to dive into them even harder because I've been game planning so much with what little information we know. As it stands for getting ready for the league start, there is a poll on my channel, and it looks like the majority of you want to watch me play Lightning Javazon. I also had ideas for essentially a Blood Countess build with, again, the Javazon. But we will be going Lightning here as per your request, and I am very excited to check it out. It seems fantastic. Now, this is pretty much the perfect ascendancy with the Amazon class for me because I'm known as being the dual charge guy, and I really like rocking frenzy and power charges, and hopefully we'll be able to keep this up. We'll see what happens when more notes are out, but I actually have high hopes that with the physical damage we have, we might even be able to get triple charges going and see how that works with the crazy infused weapons from the Amazon. Now, the Ritualist is also pretty incredible, and I look forward to making one of those in the future as well, but that is a late game ascendancy, and so it needs to wait. Now, for my pre-game prep here, I went through all the spears that we were able to go check out and see on Path of Building, because if you didn't know this, you can actually craft spears on here. And if you come out here and you type in spear, they have a bunch of selections in here, and I went with the Sea Glass Spear, which is the one with 10% critical hit chance, and the Helix Spear. And as you'll see on the screen, I have gone through the calculations based on the different accuracies you could add to the build, plus not using the Ascendancy node, and just, well, I guess I should show this way. My bad. If we take it off here, you can see I've added different varieties of how much physical damage you'd be adding to attacks based on the accuracy on the weapons, and the varieties are pretty incredible. It does seem like the best spear to do would be whichever one has the highest base physical damage, because with this Ascendancy, with the huge base physical damage on the Ascendancy that you get, plus the little bit from the weapon, getting 1% more on the tree, and then also using charge infusion with power charges to give you the more critical hit chance and critical weakness from Eye of Winter. With a very basic tree, you're rocking over 90% crit chance with a 5% base crit chance weapon. It's kind of ridiculous. Granted, I had rolled a small crit chance on that spear just to see what would happen, and it does not take much to make it completely overpowered. I've also gone through some pretty fun places on the tree here, and I feel like this one here is going to fit really well with the character. Like, obviously, early on, you'd be taking the projectile damage and coming through the accuracy nodes, but how it stands, this here seems incredibly powerful and synergizes well. With how this is set up with lightning damage, you're definitely going to want lucky damage if you can, and with that new helmet, it's insane. Coming out here, getting I think it's 150, or sorry, that's 120, so 180% increased damage with enemies that are on low life. Everybody will be considered low life all the time. Gives more stun buildup, which means if you use it with pin, you could also increase that. And lightning damage will be lucky because all damage with hits will be lucky. Then you also get the Wild Storm for the more maximum. Expose the storm so that you get 30% increased critical hit chance and more pen when they're exposed. Like, it fits in very well. We got Tainted Strike for the increased magnitude, and obviously you'll be rocking magnitude on there for assuming things haven't changed. We come down here for Falcon Dive and Falcon Technique because they are going to absolutely scale well based on what we see so far. Now, there's one note here that I thought was really interesting with Pinpoint Shot, but it does not seem to do anything as per Path of Building. So as you can see here, coming into the main hand, chance to hit with just what we are right now, but nearly 100% crit chance. It's 3,944 main hand critical hit chance, and when we do attacks gain increased accuracy rating equal to the critical hit chance, it doesn't change at all. I don't know if this actually doesn't work, but as it stands, this does not seem to be a good node, and just getting a little bit of accuracy and critical hit chance does not seem to be the way to go when you could be getting such better things. Now, obviously, this is a high level one. This is also has a lot of wiggle room because maybe if you're not going to get this helmet, you wouldn't come down for this entire set of nodes here. You might come across for the projectile damage if you want to be more projectile. But as it stands, I feel like this works very, very, very well. It even has a lot of room for leeway by taking all these spear nodes that you'll almost definitely not be taking all of them. Same with these shield nodes, and we may not even be using a shield because scepters are so incredibly powerful with giving you all that extra spirit. It could give you so much flexibility that we may not even be taking all these points. Like, there's a lot of things in this tree that could change for user preference. I just think this here is a really great base to start the season with. Now, on top of all of this, I also am ready with the campaign layout guide. I have this pretty lovely trade filter ready to go. It looks messy and a little bit overwhelming at the start, but this here block is any piece of armor, so that's chest pieces, boots, gloves, and helmets that you would be searching for. Just here's the stats that are useful in there. I went through, and as you know, there is a lot of, like, if you come out here and check evasion rating, there's multiple different types of evasion rating and multiple different types of a whole bunch of things on the tree here, and I've made sure I got the ones that work right. So these are all the right ones for any piece of armor. These are the correct ones for any weapon, and these are also the mods that you would actually care about getting potentially. I know which ones I'd be looking for, but this isn't just what I'd be looking for, it's all mods in general. Here is also all of the mods for amulets, rings, and belts, and it's all amulets pretty much all the way through, and then these little two are unique to rings, and this one's unique to belt. This here is for shields, this one here is for scepters, and this is for any jewels, and it's the only one that I did enchanted corruptions for. I'm going to have this link in the description, so if you guys want to jack this, it is actually pretty nice and convenient for using. I am glad I put it together so I don't have to be fussing around when looking at the league start. Now, for my idea for starting the Ascendancy here, I think I got the paint image right here. Yeah, there we go. I know for a fact I'm going Elemental Infusion first and foremost. Like, that's the number one, definitely. It just fits perfectly with my playstyle and how I want the character to be. It's also incredibly powerful with the over 600% added damage per hit. Like, it's just nuts. Then the second thing I think would be best would be Predatory Instinct. It is close with Critical Strike, but I don't think you're going to want to go Critical Strike second because you're not going to have the best accuracy stacking or the points or the gear to really take advantage of it, whereas Predatory Instinct, the 50% more damage versus the open weakness, is just always going to be good. Then Critical Strike, obviously, I think it's an incredible node. And then I am quite certain Penetrate is going to be worth taking pretty much all the time to get a cheaper first weapon. But if you're able to find that incredible, perfectly rolled all fizz or all elemental weapon, whatever you're preferring to do, then it may be worth it for you if you're still wanting to go pure damage to get the increased skill speed from in for the kill. And you pretty much won't get the movement speed unless it's a unique, but at that point it's not too big of a deal. If you are going to be having a unique chest piece, or you just don't have the best gear yet but you got decent boots, gloves, helmet, that sort of thing, Stalking Panther may be worth it, but I do not currently have the highest faith in this one, specifically because if Hands of Wisdom in action are still really good and you're still wanting to use that one incredible helmet that sets everything to low life, then you're going to get very little effect out of Stalking Panther because it would essentially just be the boots that you'd be getting any benefit from, and at that point it's not worth an Ascendancy node. But Mystic Harvest is the real one that could be a game changer or could be completely useless if Leech is still bad. As it stands, we don't know yet. This is for the future to decide, but I am actually tentatively excited for Mystic Harvest. Now, for the skills, obviously we're going Lightning Spear. That's the Javazon bit, but then also I believe for bosses, Primal Strikes is going to be a beast. I really think it's going to be a beast. We saw it was kind of a melee ability. You go in, you stab the boss, and then a bunch of lightning beasts come out and around you all the time. It sounds great. If it is not the greatest, maybe Stormlance would work really well with Lightning Spear. And on top of it, then there's also the option of Wind Serpent's Fury or Spear Solaris, which just look really fun. Tame Beast looks like it's going to be absolutely overpowered if aura skills on enemy mods stayed the same, because these 3 or 4 here could be absolutely game breaking even early on. Getting 35 to all elemental resistances for your character at the start could just be so easy for making you tanky through the campaign. And then speed and the accuracy aura both will super easily cap your crit chance and then give you other super high movement speed or even more accuracy rating to stack with your Ascendancy. Then to get the dual charges, there's still going to be Profane Ritual, probably Sniper's Mark, and Combat Frenzy. I hope that we can go without Profane Ritual, but we'll know later on. We do not know right now. This is for future to know. Summon Row is potentially something we're going to take. I'm not too certain yet. Obviously, if we're going Lightning Spear, we're going to be tossing them really fast and be good to be, avoiding them at full speed and ripping around the map. It'll feel good. But if the Roa's hitbox is the same or larger than your character, it could be a real problem, because when you're ripping around with Tempest Flurry, the issue is that you're getting stuck on every single little piece on the terrain, and if that maintains to be an issue, Summon Roa just won't be worth the 60 spirit. Then obviously Charge Infusion to keep using both charges and tossing the spears like crazy. I have a feeling with power charges being consumed by your spears that with the super high amount of cold infusion going into there, it will help keep Combat Frenzy going and rocking the whole time. And if you do not have sufficient enough cold damage as it is, the Combat Frenzy could be upkept with pinning. And that is something that I'm looking forward to, because Lightning Spear, as we know it right now, which I will pull that up, is a 60% physical to lightning damage conversion, which means you'd still have 40% physical to get any sort of natural life leech, mana leech if you want to use that, and physical damage for pinning. Same with the stunning damage. It's all quite easy to stack with there, but obviously this will not be our bossing damage, just the mapping one, but that would be all we would need to worry about for bossing. Now for bossing, we wouldn't have something like the Tempest Spell to freeze and shock to generate charges, so we'll have to figure that one out as we play the game more and see how everything feels. But either way, I feel like this is a great early thought process for how to play this. Obviously, I have the Countess Kaboom on there for possible future playstyle, but I don't think this one will be possible with the shield or the parry buckler. I think this one will have to be with the scepter for the extra spirit. Either way, I can't believe that it's only 2 days away. It felt like a million years last week, but yes, we're here. We're ready to go. Can't wait to play the game with you guys. Yeah, I'm very excited. If you're excited too, hang out. And either way, if you enjoyed the video, sub and like, and if you didn't, don't. Either way, I'm really happy you're here. See you, my dudes.